Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to Commute Talk. Today, Jacob writes in asking about if I've always done videos or vlogs, and what motivated me to start making development videos, and what motivated me to do the Commute Talks. So, thank you, Jacob, for asking the question. Um, I think originally what motivated me to do development videos was probably Terry Davis. Um, because I really enjoyed the format of his videos where he's just tinkering with Temple OS and sort of bouncing around this big system that he built and working on some little part of it or showing some part of it. It's like watching a mad scientist in his laboratory, right? I I just enjoy that a lot, and I thought with the unfortunate passing of Terry, um, that no one was doing this type of thing anymore, at least not in operating systems. So I figured since I was already building an operating system, why don't I also try to make this type of content about it? And I started out, I didn't really know how to do it, so I just turned on my webcam and tried to talk while I was doing my daily development work. And in the beginning, it was a little bit fumbly. I felt very uncomfortable speaking to the camera, and I felt like I was going to say something stupid or say too much about myself or my life or whatever, reveal something that I wanted to hide, or I don't know. But that sort of melted away over time, and I'm really grateful for that. And I guess about the commute talks, they were a bit different. It sort of started from people asking me questions that they were like a little bit too. It would be too much work to reply to them in text, I felt like. So I thought, why don't I just record myself talking about it? Because in the beginning, it was much about like people asking me, how do you build an operating system? Or like, oh, I tried building one, but it was so boring. What should I do? Like, how did you manage to stay motivated? This type of stuff. Like people kept asking me this. So I thought, well, why don't I think a little bit about it and record myself talking about it, and then I can just post that. And I was super duper uncomfortable about doing that, and it was really intimidating to me just to talk to the camera and to post that online. Like the development videos were bad enough, right? Because you can see my face, and now I would show you even more of my body. I don't know. This just seemed so terrible, but in the end, it's not so bad, right? I don't care anymore. But it was really scary at first. And I guess part of why I did it was not just to answer the questions and stuff, but also to face my own fears and insecurities about showing my face, about speaking from the heart, and saying what I really think, what I really feel. And a car just drove by me that says Kling Group on it. And I don't know what company that is, but it's interesting. Anyway, and I would never have been able to do this in the past because I was always so guarded and putting up like multiple shields and fronts and stuff. But in going through rehab and therapy for drug addiction, I learned how to speak, and how to speak in front of people and speak to people and with people, and how to listen to people, and like all of these things that I was really clueless about and really kind of, I guess, arrogant about in the past, and very selfish about. And I finally felt like maybe I could do this, and I wanted to stretch out my comfort zone and maybe dip my toe outside it a little bit. And this seemed like a perfect way of doing that. And then there's this other thing to it too, of course. Like, I didn't just want to start like recording myself talking because I'm so important, because I certainly don't feel important, but I do feel that I have a certain type of experience that is probably interesting to many people, because I have worked as a programmer for a long time. I worked at big companies like Nokia and Apple for a long time, on successful open source projects for a long time, like Qt and WebKit. And I have a lot of, interesting industry experience and stuff. And um, I guess I felt like I could make this accessible to people in a way that it isn't really when you're a young programmer. Because I know when I was, 18, 19, 20, and super excited about programming and C++, I would have loved if there was some guy like me who had worked at a high level in the industry using these things on big projects, and I could just ask him stuff and just listen to what he would say about programming and stuff. That would have been really interesting to me. And I especially loved when I joined these big companies. For all the bad things you can say about the big companies, they do really house some amazing people, some amazing developers. And meeting, like, I got to meet a lot of my heroes through this career in programming. And it is really, really great when you get to talk to someone who you look up to, and someone who knows a lot about the thing that you're really, really interested in. It's just a great thing, right? And there was no way for me to have access to these people if I didn't join their companies or join their projects and like build up trust so that they would engage with me, on a serious level. And I guess I would like to give people, like, give people that thing if they want it. And I don't pretend to be as high up as my own heroes, but I made it a few steps up the staircase, right? And if I can help someone take their first step, then that would be really awesome, I think. And I do hear from a lot of people who say that they appreciate this aspect of what I do, and that makes me really happy. And as most of you know, I try to maintain a very encouraging attitude, and I try to get stay away from being negative or dismissive or elitist or anything like that. And I'm definitely not pretending like I haven't acted this way in the past myself, but like, we can all grow up, we can all change our opinions, change our minds, right? And I would just love to see people who are really interested in programming. I would love to see them develop. And this is sort of me trying to do my part, because I'm not a teacher. I couldn't even stand going to school myself. I don't really work in that environment, but this is my contribution, I guess. This is what I try to do to get people interested or hyped up and motivated, and to get people to be less intimidated by showing that it's not such a big deal, and here's how it works, here's how you do it, or here's how I do it, here's what I know. Please ask me anything. I'll share everything I know with you so that you can know it too. Even if it will take you time to internalize it, you can at least hear it. And this is I'm trying my best, I guess, to make the content that I would want to watch. So I would definitely watch someone working on a big system and sharing their daily or semi-daily thoughts about that process. That would be super interesting. And that's why I make this type of content, because I make the type of content that I would want to watch. because this is what I like. That's why I do it, right? And it's more or less what I would do anyway. I just point a camera at it and press record, but I'd be a bit more quiet if I wasn't recording. Like you might get this impression from me, from seeing me always talking, that I'm always talking, but if I'm not recording and there's no one around, I'm obviously quiet. I guess I just want to put that out there. But yeah, so those are my motivations, I guess. First part is that I really loved what Terry Davis was doing with his Temple OS development videos, and I feel like there was a hole in the market, if you will, and I think maybe I could do something similar to that would make people interested and maybe motivated, inspired, something like that. And then it was about facing my own insecurities, about public speaking, about showing my face, about being real and not hiding behind jokes or shock humor or whatever. Not trying to be cool or edgy. And also about sharing my professional experience and industry experience with people who are like new or just interested in that, and they're like they're curious about these things that I've experienced in doing, and of course I would want to share that with people, because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of experience if I don't share it? Like, I'm just gonna use it to boost my career? Like, I'm not really like that, so. Anyway, I guess these are my thoughts about that. So I really appreciate the question, Jacob, because it allowed me to talk about this, which is it's an interesting subject. Like, why do I do what I do? I will say that if someone else were to make this style of content about whatever they're working on, or something that they start doing, I would definitely watch it. So if you would like to, then please steal everything about my format, because then I will watch what you do. I would love to see more stuff like this. I think the internet is full of glitzy tutorials and like this high production videos, and there's definitely room for a lot more like realistic programming and real representation of what it actually looks like. So I welcome all of you to do that if you're interested, but if you're not, then don't do it. It's all good. So I'm just going to say thank you for hanging out with me on the commute. And the comments below are always open for suggestions, questions, comments, obviously. And I really appreciate all of the engagement. And thank you again for hanging out. And I will see you next time. Bye.